Welcome to Saugatuck.
So have you ever been in Michigan before?
Yeah, no, I had no idea there was a town called Saugatuck, Michigan. When I was in high school, our marching band went up to Mackinac Island, right? So that's way up in the UP, but I had never really been in Michigan. How about you?
Just one time through Detroit, but
Detroit.
we had some good friends back home in Colorado who go to Saugatuck, Michigan for the summertime. Kurt is a director of the local theater in the town, and he's been doing it for many, many years. I think he's getting close to maybe 20 years there.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time we specifically heard of Saugatuck, and we're like, we have to go out there and see Kurt and Joe.
Yeah, hi Kurt and Joe, by the way. So Kurt and Joe, our friends from Fort Collins, like Scotty said, had really raved about Saugatuck as this cool little town, very LGBTQ friendly, right on the lake, very popular. It's just north of Chicago, about 90 miles or so, ballpark, hour and a half. Very, very, very quaint, very cute, just super neat. It's kind of this little oasis sort of thing right there. So we talked with Kurt and Joe and said, okay, yeah, I think on our way, on our trip that we would certainly make that a priority to stop there, and we did.
Yeah, and as we found out about Saugatuck, we were finding as we were researching our very first camper, Otis, our Airstream, we found and came across this YouTube channel called Staying with Family. And we realized, oh, there is a LGBTQ campground near Saugatuck, Michigan. So this would be a perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
To do kind of two things all in one location.
Yeah, literally in the same area, which is great. Hi, Bill and Juan, by the way. If you've ever checked out Stay With Family, their YouTube channel, it's awesome. We've watched it for years. So like Scotty had said, the fact that they had been at Campit, which you're going to see here now, was really cool. And so we were really excited to kind of get to a new location that we had never been to before. Most of the locations previous to this, one of us had kind of been there, or both of us had been there. So this was, I think, really our first true location that neither of us had been. So we were experiencing this together for the first time, which was kind of exciting. So we did get to Michigan just fine, and we got all checked in and enjoy some of the clips right now that we have of Campit. And then we'll share with you what happened next, which is kind of crazy. Sound good? See you in a minute.
one night we went out and we actually went to the theater and got to see an amazing production that Kurt and his cast put on.
Amazing.
It's called In the Heights, which is soon to be a motion release movie, but
Yeah.
we were just floored at it was just an amazing show.
Amazing.
And so after the show, we went, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and it was getting pretty late, like maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night.
We love it. It was a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
We're starting to head back to the Jeep where we parked it, because Saugatuck's a busy city as well, or town, and so we kind of parked. We weren't able to park close by, but we parked on a side street, and we're walking back, and
Yeah.
in the distance we can see flashing lights, like a police car, something flashing, and so as we got closer, with each block we realized like, oh, those flashing lights are near where we parked the Jeep, and oh, the police car's on the wrong side of the road, maybe he's giving someone a ticket.
We honestly thought he was giving the person that parked in front of us a parking ticket, because it was kind of odd. The person parked in front of us just the wrong way, right?
Facing our Jeep.
Yeah, so basically we were face to face, if you would. So, yeah.
And then once we got up onto the police car, we're like, that car is underneath our Jeep.
So this is the point where the trip took a whole new perspective, and it quite frankly really stunk, if I'm being brutally honest. So should I share how, in a nutshell, there is a, what was it, a Kia Soul, like one of those hamster things they drive. Anyway, the Kia Soul was literally underneath of the Jeep for the most part. And so any of you, from an RVing perspective, if you're towing a Jeep, we have a whole towing mechanism underneath, right, that we tow from behind the motorhome. So the motorhome, we hook this whole thing up, and then we get it all set up, and then that's how we tow it. So as they were ripping apart the two cars from each other, literally with a tow truck, it was very evident that the tow bar was completely unusable, and we were going to be leaving in 5 or 6 days. There was no way to tow the Jeep. It was 100% impossible, and we didn't know that we could even drive it. So in a nutshell, the gentleman that hit us was drunk, twice the legal limit, didn't have a seatbelt on, hit the Jeep, hit it going 40 miles per hour while it was parked, and literally put his head into the windshield, and then he made the best decision after those previous great decisions, which was run. So he wasn't even there. So the cops, when we got there, were like, oh, hey, yeah, we're waiting for you guys. So anyway, so they did find him a few blocks away, passed out in someone's yard. He ended up spending, I think, like 4 or 5 days in the hospital because he had messed his head up pretty good. But he, and outside of that, I mean, we feel bad that anyone gets injured, but what a mess. It was a total mess. We were able to bend the bumpers back on the Jeep and actually get it to drive home. But we knew from driving it home that obviously there was going to be some substantial repairs.
Because our headlights were downward a little bit, so we knew that something was bent on our Jeep.
Yeah. So that's where the story then gets really stupid. So then Michigan is a no-fault state when it comes to accidents, which means that if you're in an accident, you just claim on your own insurance, which we were like, okay, well, that really stinks. We weren't even in the Jeep, let alone anywhere close to it. We found out that Michigan has an exception to that rule. If someone hits a parked car when you're not in it, then we have to claim on their insurance. So long story short, Progressive is not really easy to deal with. I would have much more candid words on that. You can comment if you want or send me an IM and I'll be very candid with you about Progressive. That being said,
and it was also nice from a relationship perspective because it was becoming so frustrating for me, and I was like, I don't think I can deal with this. Can you take on this 100%? And so it was really nice where you're like, okay, I can do it.
Yes.
And
yeah. So we did.
You're the go-to person.
Yeah. And end of the story, at some point it all gets resolved. But for now, our immediate challenge is what do we do with this Jeep? We can't tow. We can't really drive it. And we're in the middle of Michigan. Like, we aren't even close to Colorado, of which, by the way, remember, we don't own a home anymore. And we certainly haven't made it to Maine yet. So we didn't know what to do.
And we didn't want to cancel everything and just stay.
And just wait it out because we know that could be forever. So Long story short, we ended up bringing it to a mechanic repair shop in Holland, Michigan, which is right next to Saugatuck. I met some really nice people there. Insurance finally gave us their information, which, by the way, they were not very quick about that, let me tell you. So, but we did finally get all that done. And then we ended up leaving the Jeep in Michigan to get repaired. And then we left on our scheduled journey carless. All right, well, whew. So where are we at in this journey? We're still in 2019, as we mentioned earlier. So we started in Fort Collins selling a house, made a stop to see our daughter quickly in Vail. We were to Vegas. We were in Palm Springs. We were then in San Diego. We were then in Phoenix. We were then in Sedona. We were then in Mesa Verde, Colorado. We were then in Ouray, Colorado. We spent a short bit in Vail on the way back through, which we didn't really record much there. Then we were in Minnesota, which you saw that video with the family time up there, which was a lot of fun. And then now we were just in Saugatuck. So where are we going next?
Sandusky, Ohio.
And what's in Sandusky, Ohio?
Cedar Point, which is an amazing roller coaster.
Oh my gosh, Cedar Point was a blast. So and that's going to be a fun video too. So that's great. And then we also stayed at another campground just south of that afterwards, called Freedom Valley, and that one is really super cool. So yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching, and please subscribe, like, and
share.
And
yeah, until next time, again, this is RV Life from top to bottom, and I'm Scott.
I'm Scott.
And have a great week. Bye.
Bye.